the silent massacre, the Unsolved Keddie cabin murders. Some crimes are quick, some are clean, but some are so brutal, so chaotic that they leave behind more questions than answers. Tonight we bring you the chilling case of the Keddie cabin murders, one of the most gruesome and perplexing unsolved crimes in American history. Stay until the end, but be warned, this story is not for the faint of heart. A family's quiet retreat turns into a nightmare. It was the evening of April 11th, 1981, when Glenna Sue Sharp and her children settled in for the night at their small cabin in Keddie, California. Cabin 28 was their home, a modest, wood-paneled structure in a quiet, rural resort town. Sue, a 36-year-old single mother, had moved to Keddie for a fresh start. She was raising her 5 children alone, hoping to build a better life for them in the peaceful, isolated town. Her teenage son, John Sharp, had invited his best friend, Dana Wingate, over for the night. Meanwhile, Sue's younger children, Rick, Greg, and Tina, were settling down for bed. It was just another ordinary night. But by morning, everything would change. The grisly discovery that shook the town. On the morning of April 12, 1981, Sheila Sharp, Sue's 14-year-old daughter, walked through the front door of Cabin 28 after spending the night at a neighbor's house. What she saw inside would haunt her forever. The living room was a bloodbath. Sue, John, and Dana lay bound with medical tape and electrical wire, their bodies mutilated. Sue had been beaten, stabbed, and gagged with a blue bandana. Her hands were tied together, her mouth stuffed with a cloth. John and Dana had been beaten with a claw hammer. A butcher knife was lodged in John's chest, its handle bent from the sheer force of the attack. Blood was everywhere, on the walls, on the furniture, smeared across the wooden floors. It was a scene of pure chaos and brutality. But there was something even more disturbing. Sue's 12-year-old daughter, Tina, was missing. Her bed was empty. Her shoes were gone, and there was no sign of where she had been taken. Meanwhile, Sue's 2 youngest sons, Rick and Greg, were found alive in a bedroom, along with their friend Justin Smart. Somehow, the 3 boys had slept through the entire massacre, or so they claimed. The crime that made no sense. The investigation into the Keddie cabin murders left police baffled. There was no sign of forced entry. Whoever had done this had either been let in or already knew how to get inside. The brutality suggested rage, but nothing had been stolen. The weapons, a hammer and multiple knives, belonged to the Sharp family, meaning the killers had used what they found in the house, or had brought them, only to leave them behind. But the biggest mystery? What happened to Tina? For 3 years she remained missing, her name a ghost in police files, her fate unknown. Then, in 1984, a man walking through the woods 50 miles away discovered a human skull. It was Tina. Her remains had been dumped in a remote forest, far from the scene of the crime. But why? And who took her? The suspects who were never caught. The town of Keddie was small, a kind of place where people knew their neighbors, and investigators quickly turned their attention to one of them, Marty Smart. Marty was the stepfather of Justin Smart, one of the children who had survived the night in Cabin 28. He had a violent temper, a history of abusing his wife, and, as it turned out, a strong hatred for Sue Sharp. According to his wife, Marty had openly complained about Sue trying to convince her to leave him. Even more chilling, he owned a claw hammer, the exact type used in the murders. But when police interviewed him, they let him go. No charges, no further questioning. It was later revealed that Marty Smart had confessed to the murders in a session with his therapist, but authorities still failed to make an arrest. And in 2016, the case took another disturbing turn. Investigators uncovered a letter written by Marty shortly after the murders. It read, "For I've paid the price for your love. Now that I've killed 4 people, you tell me we're through." A signed confession. Yet somehow no one ever followed up on it. The chilling evidence that was ignored. Over the years, more disturbing details emerged. A mysterious tape was found in police evidence. On it, an unknown man was heard calling the tip line, saying, "I know who killed the Sharps and where to find Tina." Authorities never investigated the lead. And when it came to Tina's remains, an anonymous 16-year-old boy called in the tip, leading police directly to the site. But who was he? And how did he know where she was buried? The case was mishandled from the start. Evidence was lost. Witnesses were ignored. And the truth was buried along with Tina. The unanswered questions that remain. More than 4 decades have passed, and the Keddie cabin murders remain unsolved. Was it a crime of rage, a targeted execution, or something even darker? A crime covered up to protect someone in the town? Marty Smart has since died, taking his secrets to the grave. But the family and friends of Sue Sharp have never given up hope. They still believe that someone knows the truth, someone who has been hiding in plain sight, and perhaps one day they will finally speak. Some crimes are solved, some killers are caught, but some remain in the shadows forever. What do you think happened in Keddie Cabin 28? Let us know in the comments, and if you want more chilling true crime stories, be sure to like, subscribe, and join us next time, if you dare.